Welcome to Mental Health Dumpster Fire, a podcast where therapists give their real opinions on mental health, relationships, parenting, and pop culture. Hosted by Courtney Laver, licensed clinical social worker, and Jess Miller, art therapist. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Mental Health Dumpster Fire. Follow Courtney on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Laver Listens, and Jess on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at The Artsy Brain. This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only and cannot be substituted for therapy. We cannot provide you mental health services via this podcast or social media. We hope you enjoy the show. Don't forget to subscribe. Welcome to the episode. We're here, and that's about all you're getting.
We're struggling today.
How are you?
I'm okay. My throat's a little scratchy, allergy season for me, so that sucks. Been wedding planning, which is fun and stressful. And then work, and that's pretty much all I do.
Yep. Yep, I hear you.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm stressed. I'm going on vacation.
That's right.
This weekend, doing a long weekend, and it's leading up to vacation is always super stressful because like all the work has to be done, and like for both of my jobs, the time cards are due Friday, and I'm leaving Thursday, so they need to be done Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then I need to like make sure the house is clean for my cat sitter. And, that I have to pack everything, and I'm always nervous that I'm gonna leave something. And for the most part, like I can, I'm not going anywhere crazy. Like I can buy stuff if I forget it.
Yeah.
But like then I'm always like paranoid that I'm gonna leave like my glasses. And
Right.
I'm, like, well,
stuff
then
that
I'll
you
just
need.
be blind. Like, so, or like my medicine. Like I hate I'll be fine once I get there.
Yes.
But leading up to it, like until the plane is in the air, I'm gonna be stressed.
Yeah, I'm the same way, except I hate flying, so then I'm stressed flying, but it's a different stress.
Yeah.
But yeah, the lead up to vacation is stressful and exciting at the same time, which it kind of like, I kind of get like that senioritis leading up to vacation where I just don't want to do work. I don't want to do anything.
Right. That's like the last thing I've been putting it off. I've made my packing list. I've cleaned. I've done almost all of my laundry. And now, like, I just need to do my notes and my stuff, which I usually save until Thursday anyway.
Yeah, me too.
And now I'm gonna save it for Wednesday. But yeah, it needs to be done.
Yeah.
So, it's just a lot that I have to get done, which sucks because like I'm supposed to be gearing up to relax, and then it sucks when you come back and you're like, oh, I have 12,000 emails.
You have
like
so much more to do when you get back. Yeah.
It's not as bad now with this job that we have now. It's not as bad to come back from vacation because it's not like things have necessarily been piling up for you.
Yeah, I do appreciate that about the practice that we're at. It's usually just like parents maybe emailing, like requesting super bills or something, or like I work at a school too, and so like those kind of pile up over vacation. But I've been good about lining up my vacation time with the schools. So that hasn't been happening. But yeah, we don't really get a whole lot of like people bothering us when we're on vacation with this job. But
yeah, when I worked at the nonprofit, it would be like, hi, welcome back. While you were gone, there were 12 crises.
Yeah. They're all on your caseload, of course.
Well, would you like to start today or would you like to go second?
Well, I want to know what you have.
I have a TikTok that I found this morning.
That's all of mine I found this morning. Yeah. All my stories.
It's a parenting related TikTok.
Okay,
yeah. Cool. So that's what I have.
Sure. I got on Reddit, and I love the Am I the Asshole stuff, but I'm getting kind of bored of it a little. So, I'm
trying to find new subreddits.
Like other subreddits. So I got onto like a friend advice one. Friendship advice. That was interesting. So I got some cool things there. But I did find a Am I the Asshole story that piqued my special interest, which is art and art history.
Ooh, okay.
But other, like, that and then the friendship ones are the only ones that I'm excited about.
Okay. Yeah. Well, why don't you do one of those, and then I'll do my TikTok, and then we'll go back.
Yeah. We'll, like, break it up that way. Okay. So this is from Reddit friendship advice. I always go above and beyond for friends, but it's never reciprocated. Am I Delulu? 25 male. I know one of my greatest character defects is moving heaven and earth for friends. I definitely feel I do too much for people who may not even care about me. I have a friend, Jess. It's not me. There's so many of us.
He just doxed you.
There's so many people named Jess. Anyways, I have a friend named Jess that I've comforted when she was in a toxic relationship, and I've given her advice. Mainly, my advice was to leave him. LOL. I was overjoyed when she finally listened and started dating another guy who also became a friend of ours, Cole. I am always willing to go to great lengths for friends. That being said, I would help Jess with her homework. Mind you, I went to college but didn't finish during this time. But I had an associate's in science while she went on to Big State University to get her bachelor's of science. I helped her a lot with homework and also got a crash course on anatomy and pharma math. I'm always there when she needs me, and especially when something is going wrong in her life, I am there. I've even taken her to the doctor when she needed blood drawn. My other friend, Peach, is someone who I would describe as a black hole in terms of acts of service and gift giving. He's sensitive yet cold person. For example, he'll have an argument with my friend's boyfriend, and then I'm the one that has to pull the group together. It's sort of exhausting. He's a black hole because I've learned to never ask for any favors from him. If I had an opposite as to how much I'm willing to do for friends, then he is it. Same for gift giving. I was so hurt when I would get them all gifts and birthday messages. I even got Pete a whole cake and cupcakes for his birthday that we all celebrated together last year. That was my one last straw, to be honest. This year I wanted to see how much they valued me. When my birthday came, nobody sent me a message except for Jess. That's it. No one else checked on me. I know maybe these seem like small things, but to me they carry weight. There's more details, like when I didn't have my car, my friend Pete would be bothered to drive me everywhere or anywhere. Keep in mind, since we've been friends, I've driven us everywhere, including across the state, without expecting gas money or being bothered. I guess my problem is that I expect a certain amount of reciprocation for what I do and give. Is that normal, or am I just nuts? Lot going on there.
Yeah, lots of detail. Yeah. Do you know the Enneagram?
Yes, I was like super into it for a while.
Yeah, I was also super
still
into
like
it
it
for a while. He sounds like a 2, which are the helpers.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's what I am. So
I'm a
that's
peacekeeper.
Why I know it. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so he sounds like somebody who, for whatever reason, thinks, I'm not diagnosing, I'm not therapizing, this is just my opinion, someone who has done this and also is a therapist. It sounds to me like he places him serving others as a way to receive love, as in, I'm not going to receive love from other people unless I do things for them. Mm-hmm. And I'm there for them, whatever they need. I'm sensing what they need and giving it to them ahead of time. I'm being extra loving, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But then that builds resentment when other people are not at the same level of trying that hard to make sure that other people's needs are met.
Yeah.
Because not everybody has that personality. Not everybody has that, I would call it a fear and an anxiety of, they're not going to love me unless I do things for them. Mm-hmm. Love is not unconditional.
Right.
It's conditional based on how much I do for you.
Yeah.
So I think if that's the case, that's his problem, is he needs to work on, you're allowed to receive love from people in ways that you don't show love. People are moving away from love languages, but
but it's kind of in that realm of thinking.
Yeah, your love language is not going to be the same as everybody else's, and the way that you show love is not the same way that other people do it. Mm-hmm. So you need to learn to appreciate how they do show up for you.
Yeah.
And if you want a friend who is as committed to gift giving as you are, then you need to make some new friends.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. If your friends aren't like fulfilling that need, and I will say the communication is key too.
Right.
Of like, this is how I feel appreciated in a friendship. Communicating that with your friends. It doesn't have to sound as formal as that. But that, like, if you don't communicate that with your friends and they don't know that that's how you feel loved and appreciated, then they're not gonna do it because they don't know. But if you've communicated that with them and have expressed your feelings, and they continue to not change, then it just kind of becomes a one-sided relationship at that point.
Yeah, it can be. But to me, it sounds like maybe the motivations are different. Like, what is the poster's motivation for doing things for his friends? Because to me, it sounds like a fear of, if I don't do these things, they're not going to want to be my friend anymore.
Right.
And then when he doesn't give that back, he's like, well, why aren't you as paranoid about this friendship as I am?
Yeah.
And then when the poster is asking his friends for things, they have a different mindset, and they're more like, no, I don't want to expend that energy. It's more important for me to keep my peace and not do everything for you.
Right.
So they just have a different mindset. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, I could see that too. Yeah. Where it's just kind of, as with a lot of these posts, it's a huge amount of like miscommunication or just like not communicating.
Right. But it's hard to go to your friend and be like, hi, the way to show me love, I'm an acts of service person, and I need you to do things for me. Like, yeah.
It does feel really weird.
Yeah.
But I have definitely, I feel like I have, when a friend does something that speaks to my love language, then I am like very verbally like, oh, like, thank you, I really appreciate it, if for whatever, like if they do something for me or whatever it is. I'm very much like, yes, this is what I want.
Yeah.
And like, please keep doing that.
Yeah.
To support me and love me. But yeah, like it's too awkward to expect someone to sit their friend down and be like, here's my Enneagram.
Right.
And here's I'm an INFP, and these are my top 3 love languages. Like, that's a lot.
Yeah, out of the blue. But you
do it for fun.
like, plan a night and be like, we're going to do all the personality tests, guys.
I've done that
like,
before.
I've done that.
Like, hey, guys, we're going to take this 100-question values questionnaire, and then we're going to do the Enneagram, and then we'll take a little break. It is really fun, though, to do personality tests with, like, friends and family.
It is. And like, I've done personality tests in family sessions to help people understand, like, their family members' motivations, because they're usually different.
Yeah.
And it's hard to understand, especially if it's like your kid. Like, I've raised you with my values, so why are yours different?
Why aren't you carbon copy of me?
Right. So yeah, so it is interesting to do those kinds of things, like an Enneagram, or like a I learned one at like an Adlerian play therapy conference, where you like pick, there's like 4 different things, and you pick the one that you hate the most, and that like tells you something about your personality.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. And I've done that in family therapy, and it's been pretty helpful for people to be like, oh,
that's interesting.
I get it. Yeah.
I think like this is something very similar to what a lot of like my teenage clients talk about.
Yeah.
Of like, I do all this for my friends, and I feel like I get nothing out of the friendship except like them talking about drama all the time or whatever. So it's like, well, like, what do you need out of a friendship? What is it that you're looking for? And can that friend do that for you? Have you talked to them about it? Like, they might just not know, or they're not able to provide that for you.
Yeah.
And I mean, not that you need to like cut that friend off and like find other new friends, but just keep that in mind.
Right.
And try to find that somewhere else.
Yeah. Keeping that in mind and trying to find it somewhere else is really good advice for teenagers because their world is pretty small. Like you have who is available to you every day at school. There's not really opportunities for you to meet. Like once you're at the school and you've met everybody, like that's it. So, and I know it's hard, like, you know, if you lose a friend, whether it's like a mutual thing or you get in a fight or whatever, like everybody knows about it, and then
they have friends, and so that's gonna like
right.
kind of
you're usually
be a
in a
thing.
friend group, and it's like it's hard to just like, well, I'll just meet somebody else. Like that's not always a thing.
Yeah, I think just keeping in mind that friend might not be able to provide what you need for you, and then trying to really get specific about what it is you need and try to find that somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, friendships are hard.
They can be. I don't know. I don't know that they should be hard, but it can be work to try to find your people.
Yeah, I think that's what's hard.
Yeah.
Finding your people, that process is what's hard. For sure. But yeah, that was an interesting one.
So there was a TikTok that I saw this morning.
Cool.
Of parenting one-liners.
Oh, okay.
Which are just quick phrases that people say to their kids. Often that's like a general understanding and like just a quick way to keep things moving. And I thought it was interesting. The account that I saw it on is called Raising Kind Kids.
I think I've seen some of their videos before.
And she has a website called Coffee and Carpool. I'll put that in the show notes. But she had some good ones, and then the comments had some good ones too.
I always forget to look at the TikTok comments. Sometimes they're garbage.
Sometimes they're not great. They're not as bad as Reels.
That's true. Because I think TikTok, the one with the most votes, ends up at the top, right? I don't know if that happens for Reels.
Yeah, I don't know what happens with Reels, but people are just meaner on Instagram.
They really are.
Okay. So she has a few. I'm not going to read all of them because I didn't like all of them. But so the ones that she posted included, you can be mad without being mean. And then somebody in the comments posted one that was similar to that. She said, all feelings are welcomed, all behaviors are not.
Yes. Yeah, that's I tell a lot of parents of like, your kid can feel however they want to feel, but how they react or what they do about it is what we're working on.
Right. Yeah. I often tell kids, like, you can't control how you feel, but you can control what you do with it. Every family has different rules. She said she uses that one when the kids come to them and they're like, well, Johnny gets to stay up until 11. Why can't I?
Oh, yeah.
She goes, every family has different rules, which I thought was good. Another one she said was, we don't comment on other people's bodies, which I thought was just a good rule of thumb.
Yep.
You don't have to be friends with everyone, but you have to be friendly.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. That goes to adults, too.
Yeah.
Like, adults be friendly to other adults.
Right. Stop means stop, no means no. She said she uses that one, and she tries to keep an ear out for, like, even if her kids are playing with each other, and even if they might be laughing, if one of them says stop, like, she makes sure to say, like, hey, stop means stop. So just because he's laughing doesn't mean that he wants that. So,
right. Yeah.
Just good value to instill early on.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm sorry is just words. A real apology is a change in behavior. I'm not sure.
I'm like 50-50
a one-liner,
on that one. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think you should say that every time a kid says sorry.
No,
no. But it's a good general rule of thumb to keep in mind for kids is to let them know, like, an apology isn't finished until you change what you did.
Yeah.
Try again. That's my favorite one. So if a kid is being disrespectful to you, if a kid does something rude or impulsive or whatever, just a blank, no emotion, try again.
Yep.
And maybe you have to say it a few times, but it's really good for attitude.
Oh, yeah.
Because as soon as you start to be like, now listen, that was hurtful and we don't want to hurt people's feelings because blah, 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 blah. No, now you're in an argument, especially if it's a teenager. They're just going to get more rude. And you've given attention, you're feeding attention to what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And eventually you're going to give in and give them whatever it was. So try again is a good one because they have to figure out how to say it nicely. Mm-hmm. They get the praise for fixing it.
Yep, for correcting whatever.
And you get to have a better communication and let them know, like, that I will not tolerate being spoken to this way.
Yeah.
So try again.
Yeah.
I love that one. I use that one.
I like that a lot. And that goes in with the concept of, like, you can't talk to a, like, dysregulated kid about being dysregulated until they're calmed down. Mm-hmm. Then you talk about it.
Yeah.
So offering them, like, a try again as, like, a co-regulation or self-regulation technique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then another one she says is, are you telling or tattling? Which I also like. Mm-hmm. Teach your kids the difference between telling and tattling. Telling is if somebody's doing something dangerous. Mm-hmm. Tattling is telling to get them in trouble so that you feel better about yourself.
Yep. Different motivations.
So, yeah.
It could be about the same exact thing, but the motivation is different.
Right. And then the last one that I have for her is, do you want help or do you want me to listen? And that's a good one for anybody. Yes. Even adults. It's a good, if somebody's coming to vent to you, I often be like, okay, when you tell me the story, do you want advice or do you want me to just listen?
Yeah, yeah.
And I like being asked that too, because sometimes it's just like, no, I just want to be mad about it. Like,
yeah. Can you just let me vent real quick and then tell me that I'm right?
Yeah. That's what I want to hear. I'm right. Yeah. So those are the ones that she had, which I thought were great. Yeah. There was a few other ones that I didn't say, but look it up. But then in the comments, there were some other ones. And the first one on here I really liked. We keep surprises, not secrets. I think that's a really good one. I think it's important to, when your kids are very, very little, to teach them that they do not keep secrets from their parents. Yes. I think that's a really good way to keep them from being exploited, being abused, is if you just, from the moment that they are old enough to understand what a secret is, to say, like, we do not keep secrets from parents. Right. And then you can teach them what the difference between a secret and a surprise is. Yeah, yeah. Surprise is you're eventually going to find out what it is, and it'll be exciting. Right. So I like that one. We keep surprises, not secrets.
Yeah, that's a good one.
This parent said, dimming someone else's light does not make yours brighter. Which I think is cute. Yeah. Cute little.
It's a nice little, like, visual metaphor.
Yeah.
For don't be mean.
Yeah, just like a word of wisdom kind of thing. This parent said her kid was having girl drama situations, and she said, you don't have to like them, but don't recruit others not to like them.
Yeah.
Which I think is fair, because it's easy to go down the gossip train.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's easy to drag other people along that with you.
Mm-hmm. This person said, I told mine, don't be sorry, be responsible. And now my daughter is telling her son the same thing.
Oh, that's good.
This person teaches their kids to say thank you for apologizing instead of that's okay. Yeah. Which I think is a really good one to say. Yes. For anybody, because it's easy to just rattle off, like, that's fine, when, like, it's not. Right. Like, you really hurt me, but I appreciate that you apologized.
Yeah. Yeah. That's been something that I have been having to learn and practice over the past several years.
Me too.
But And like people are a little like taken aback at first. Like friends and family, they're like, whoa, that's different. But then like doing it every time, people start to like realize what's going on, and then they're like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah. I don't know if this counts as like a one-liner, but something I say a lot, especially in family sessions, is what did you hear me say?
Yes. Okay. I'm pretty sure that is also part of like a Gottman thing.
Is it?
I think so.
Probably.
Of like when there's conflict in a couple relationship, like an argument or whatever is going on, being like, okay, like the one person talks and the other person sits and thinks about it for a second, and they're like, okay, this is what I heard you say.
Yeah.
And like summarizes it from their perspective. And then they switch.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I think that's great, because so often you're in an argument and somebody says something and you interpret it in a hurtful way, and then you go off on that, and they're like, how did we get here?
Yep.
That was not what I intended to say.
Yep.
So, and I think kids do that a lot too.
Yes. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with just like misunderstandings in communication too, because that happens to me a lot. I don't know if I'm like, I know I think differently. I don't have a neurotypical brain. So I think this is why this happens to me all the time. But I like something I say gets miscommunicated, or I misinterpret what's told to me. And then it becomes a conflict later, and I'm like, whoops, I got to figure out what happened. But I've learned that if I'm like, you told me this exact phrase, this is how I interpreted that phrase, this is what I did. This happens at work a lot, actually.
Yeah.
And then people are like, oh, when I said that, I meant this. And then my little neurodivergent brain is like, well, then why did you say that in the first place? But I can't do that.
Right.
So then I'm like, oh, okay, well, I didn't interpret it that way, so I did this instead. But learning to kind of like, it's not personal. The miscommunication is not personal. It was just an accident.
Yeah.
And like, being able to talk about what was miscommunicated and being like, oh, this is what we actually need to do is more helpful than being just like pissed off about it.
Right.
Yeah. And not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
I will still, my internal little brain is like, why didn't you just say it that the first time? But that's a partly me issue though.
Yeah. I mean, because everybody's brains work differently. So some people seem to like exclusively think in metaphor. Like,
yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like passive aggression, because I think I take things a little too literally. And so passive aggression to me, I'm just like, well, don't be a bitch. Oh, that was mean. And then they're like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. I was like, no.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me what's wrong. Or like, just stop being passive aggressive. Anyways, that's a pet peeve of mine. I hate passive aggressive stuff.
I think passive aggressive is not, rarely if ever effective.
Yeah, it's never really helpful. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only time it works is like if you're doing stand-up comedy. I don't know.
Or if you just like really want somebody to do something, you don't care if they don't like you. Like,
yeah. If you don't care, being a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But I think going along with what did you hear me say? This parent says if they tell a kid to do something, or they answer a kid's question and then they ask it again, or they're like continuing to want the same thing.
Yeah.
He says, I heard you. Did you hear me? Did you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like, oh, I already answered that.
Yeah.
And I can hear you continuing to ask it. Did you hear what I said?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, this person says they tell their kids everybody's brains and bodies work differently.
Yes.
I think that's a good one for like schools. Mm-hmm. Like some people need one thing that the teacher I used to work for said a lot was like everybody needs different things.
Yeah. Everyone needs different support.
Yeah. When they say something is hard, this mom says you can do hard things, which I think is a good just affirmation in general.
Yeah.
If they can't change it in 5 seconds, then don't comment on it. That's a good rule to have for talking to people. This parent says, that is not a choice that's available right now. Please make a different choice. Which I think is kind of a corporate way to say that.
But I kind of voicemail.
But I kind of like it. That choice is not available right now. Please try again. This person said, just because you think it doesn't mean you say it.
Impulse control.
Yeah. I feel like if I had kids, I would often be like, that was an inside thought.
Yeah. I say that to myself sometimes. Yeah. Like, that was an inside thought. Why'd you say that?
Yeah. Make choices that make your heart feel proud.
Mm-hmm.
That's cute.
Instead of, like, make good choices.
Yeah. This one's good. Is that choice going to help or hurt?
Yeah. Yep.
This one's a good one to teach kids. It's not funny unless everyone is laughing.
Yeah.
This mom says, "Did you look with your mom eyes?"
I need to start saying that to my fiance.
Yeah.
Because he'll be like, where is such and such? And it's always in the kitchen, which is like his domain.
Yeah.
He's a chef. And he's like, where's such and such? And I'm like, in the fridge. He can't find it. And then I'm like, you look with your mom eyes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's a good one. A teacher told me I could say, I accept your apology, but I don't forgive you.
Yeah. Yeah.
This mom says, my favorite is, you can be mad, but you can't make it everyone's problem.
Yeah.
I don't know if I love that one, but I get it.
It depends on what you're mad about. It might be everyone's problem.
Right. This person said, I don't know if mine fits here, but I often say, you can hear it, but you can't say it in regards to my potty mouth.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure my parents said something along those lines. When we were kids.
That feels kind of like a do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, it's very close to that. Very close to that.
Yeah.
That one's problematic.
Yeah, I think it's probably better to teach your kids, like, when it's okay to say certain words and when it's not.
Like we were allowed to say certain words at home, and then that was it. And then we got older, then it was like, okay, like, you can say any of the curse words at home, but that's it.
Yeah.
And then another age jump, and then they're like, we don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think it's one of those things where it's like, if you're going to set a rule, then everybody in the house has to follow that rule.
Yeah.
So if you're going to tell your kids not to curse, then you're not allowed to either.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And then if you do accidentally curse, you have to be like, well, now we got to talk about it.
Right. Yeah. So if you break a rule, you need to have the same consequences that your kids have.
Yeah. Put a quarter in the jar or whatever.
Right. Or some kind of whatever. But yeah, so I think it's okay to teach your kids when it's okay to say certain words and what they actually mean and whatever.
Yes, teaching them what those words mean, I think, is important, so that they understand the context of why they can't say that word.
Yeah. I just thought it was a cute little thing. There's just certain one-liner phrases that you can say for things that come up often in your house, and I think that's helpful.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. That's what I got.
Okay. Okay. Am I the asshole for having a birthday party and sleepover at my dad's house, but not my mom's with my step-siblings? My parents got divorced when I, 15 male, was 3, and my mom got remarried when I was 8. My stepsister, 14 female, and I share the same birthday. I have a stepbrother, 10, but he doesn't share the same birthday. Because my stepsister's birthday is on the same day as mine, my mom and her husband insisted we celebrate our birthdays together every year and do a joint thing. I asked my mom to do it separate, but she said it was more affordable and lets them to go all out for us if we did it together. I asked my dad if I could still have parties when I was with him, and he said sure. So at mom's house, I never asked for a party and just went along with whatever, while at dad's house was where the real celebration happened. This year, my mom and her husband took us to some spa place for the birthday celebration and brought us out to eat afterwards. They said celebrating with family was the best way to celebrate birthdays, and that was 2 weeks ago. My dad threw the party for me on Saturday, but it was a sleepover and a party all in one. My best friends and I went to this VR gaming arcade and spent a few hours there, and then went back to my dad's and had lots of food and snacks, played video games pretty much all night long. It was the best. Mom came to pick me up yesterday when one of my friends was leaving, and she heard them say thanks for the invite. Mom saw the balloons that Dad had put out too. Then she asked on the way to her house if I had a party, and I said I always do. She said I never ask her to throw a big party when I celebrate at her house. I told her that I save that stuff for Dad since it's just about me and I don't have to share with her stepdaughter. She told me I should invite my step-siblings then, and I told her I don't want to. That it's bad enough sharing the celebration at her house with my stepsister, but I won't do it at Dad's, and I told her they're not my friends and I don't want to spend time with them. I just have to. Mom's husband was pissed when he heard. Then my stepbrother was upset that he missed out because he loves video games and never gets to play them all night. Mom lectured me for like an hour last night about it. Am I the asshole?
What?
You're not the asshole.
No.
One of those co-parenting issues.
Yeah. My parents are not divorced.
Mm-hmm.
But growing up, I always heard the best part of your parents being divorced is 2 Christmases, 2 birthdays. Yeah.
That's what they say.
Why would you take that from your child?
Yeah, and I think the main issue is that, so he's 15 years old and has a 14-year-old stepsister. They have the same birthday, but I'm gonna assume that neither of them want the same birthday together.
I mean, we don't know about the sister, but.
And, I mean, I'm going to assume that they probably don't have a whole lot in common.
I don't know. I mean, I've definitely heard of families whose kids have either, they're twins, or they've just happen to have birthdays really close to each other, or they're step family, blended families, and they combine the birthdays because, it's cheaper, and they can just invite everybody at once, and it's a easier way to go all out rather than having 2 separate parties. I think that's fair. But then if he is able to celebrate with his dad the way that he wants to celebrate, why shouldn't he be allowed to do that? And if he doesn't want to invite his step-siblings, why should he have to invite them?
Right. Because, it was a party with him, the poster, and all of his friends, a sleepover, and they played video games and da-da-da. Like, I wouldn't want my younger sibling to be at, like a big fancy, a birthday party that I was having if it was just me and my friends.
Right. He's in high school and the brother's 10.
10, yeah.
That's not, he doesn't want to hang out with his kid brother.
Even if they get along and like the same stuff, it's just.
It's his birthday.
Yeah. And the fact that, so it's hard to have like a birthday party at your house that your siblings live in with you. That's hard. They're going to be there. Mm-hmm. Whatever. But he's at his dad's house where there are no step siblings. So he can kind of do his own thing. And that's what he looks forward to. And that's, important to him. So like, why are you taking that away from him though?
Right. Yeah. And I don't understand, like, it seems like his mom's more upset about him not inviting the step siblings. But then she also said, well, why don't you ever ask me for a big birthday blowout? Mm-hmm. He did.
Yeah.
And you said no, so he stopped asking.
Right. Yeah. He asked if he could have his own big birthday separate from his stepsister, which is fair. And then you said no, so he's like, okay, well, I'm just going to roll with whatever we do here.
Right.
But, like,
he's not complaining.
I'm going to go have my party at my dad's house because I can.
Yeah, he's not complaining. He's not continuing to ask. He's not, like, refusing to participate in the joint birthday party.
Yeah, he said he went to the spa and everything, like, on their last birthday.
Right. He's just using his resources.
Yeah. He's just being smart about it, honestly. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a weird situation.
I wonder what's going on in the mom's head, like why she's so upset about it. Like, is it really about, and like the stepdad getting mad too? Like,
yeah, the stepdad was pissed, which is like, why though? Why are you mad about it?
And I don't know if I was the stepsister, I wouldn't want to go to my stepbrother's dad's house to hang out with my stepbrother and his boyfriends. No. Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not the asshole.
I really feel like, the mom and the stepdad are the only ones that have an issue here.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
I doubt that the stepsister's upset. I understand that the brother is the little brother, but like he's fine. He'll get over it.
Yeah,
like,
he wants to be included, but he also needs to learn that, there are some things that you will not be included in, and it sucks, but like, it happens. You don't get what you want all the time,
right?
Or however that song goes. You can't always get what you want,
right?
But like, yeah, I don't see any issue with any of it. But yeah, I want to know like what the mom and stepdad's deal was. Why were they so mad?
Like, well, yeah, I mean, and I get what you're saying. Like maybe it's a co-parenting thing, and like the dad and the mom should have talked about like how they do their own birthday parties. Yeah, but also like I don't think that would have stopped the dad from doing it. Like if the mom was like, well, I think he should invite his step siblings, and I bet his dad would back him up and be like, he doesn't want to.
Yeah. And then that kind of messes up the poor guy's, the original poster's, like, whole birthday. Mm-hmm. If they have to, like, constantly every year, he has to, like, fight for his, like, birthday on his own situation at his dad's house.
And if he has to share the birthday with a step-sibling at his mom's house, and then again at his dad's house, and she's not even related to him, like, why?
Yeah. That does not make any sense.
Give her a second birthday. I don't know. Like,
yeah. I mean, at this point, now that like cat's out of the bag or whatever, they should just have stepsister's birthday at mom and stepdad's, do what she wants, and then he can have his birthday at dad's.
Right. I'm so confused.
I know. Also, like at like age 14, 15, having birthdays is less about having family involved and more about having your friends there.
Right.
So it's not like he's going to dad's house and having a huge birthday with dad's side of the family.
But even if he was.
Yeah, even if he was, like, co-parenting kind of the way it's set up is like that's a dad's house thing.
Right. I don't get it.
Yeah. I don't know. There's some like I feel like enmeshment stuff going on there.
Yeah. I think it's a conflict between bio mom and bio dad, mm-hmm. and mom's mad that dad did what the kid wanted.
Yeah.
And now she's the bad guy.
Right.
When really she's projecting because he's fine with having the joint birthday party.
Yeah. This was not an issue.
Yeah.
Like, no one was mad or upset by any of this. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, poor kid.
I know. I read stuff like that and I'm like, you're very clearly not the asshole.
No.
Like, I hate that you think you are.
No, he sounds like a rational kid who
just for real
wants to celebrate his birthday.
He just wants to hang with his homies.
Yeah. And he has divorced parents. He's going to figure out a way to do that. Like, he's not being disrespectful. He's not, like, ruining the stepsister's birthday. Like,
no.
He's doing what she wants to do.
He does what it sounds like she kind of is the one picking what they do.
And
they're
he's
going
fine.
to the spa. Yeah,
right.
He's like, cool, that's fine.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
But he sounds like a totally normal kid with divorced parents, and the mom has some sort of weird issue, and she needs to figure it out.
And stepdad.
Yeah.
They both have some kind of, there's something weird going on there with the parents.
Yeah.
Where it's like mom and stepdad have a weird thing, and then that's a weird thing with dad.
Mm-hmm. Weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Blended families are complicated, but there are some things where it's like, this doesn't have to be complicated. There's a very clear, answer to this problem.
Yeah.
And in this case, it's let the boy have his birthday.
Right. The only thing that I think could be different is there could have been more openness about the fact that he does have these birthdays. But even when she brought it up, he didn't hide it. He was like, yeah, I always have a birthday.
Yeah.
You just never asked.
Yeah.
Like
he was like, it was like the lying by omission thing. He's like, I never told mom that I was having these birthday parties at dad's, but she also never asked about it either.
Yeah.
So, like, and he's 15. His birthday party is just him and his friends eating Cheetos and playing video games. Like,
yeah.
You know, it's not like he's way younger and birthday parties are like a huge ordeal.
Mm-hmm.
People go all out for their little kids' birthdays. Like freaking Bridgerton tea party style parties for a 3-year-old who just wants to smash cake and run around with no diaper on.
Right, they're not going to remember that. That birthday, they're not going to remember it.
Yeah. No, you could take that kid anywhere for that birthday. And if you just, like, make it a little different than their normal routine and make it special, that's fine.
Yeah.
You don't need to have a whole shebang about it.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
maybe
it's
first
for the
birthday.
parents. It's for the parents because they know at some point they're not going to have control over what the theme is. And they're going to have to be like, I don't want 12 years of Spider-Man birthdays. I'm going to do this one. Like, for me when they don't get to pick. But, yeah. Yeah, especially the first birthday. First birthday is like, I kept this thing alive.
This baby has been alive for a whole year. I did it. Show off the 1-year-old baby. I get that. Or like when it's the first grandbaby in the family, that kid's birthdays are always very special for the first several years of their life, as they should be. Yeah. But it's just fun. Like, sometimes there's families where they have like 4 or 5 kids, and like all of them have had like very elaborate birthdays when they were kids, when they were little. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure my birthday is in February. I'm pretty sure all we did was just like eat a bunch of food in our house, and that was parties for my birthday parties when I was little. That was it. We just ate a bunch of food.
Yeah, I don't think my birthday parties were expensive. They were always at our house, but there was always, my parents went all out. There was always a theme. It was so fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they always, like, they made everything.
Yeah, that's special.
But it was like they made up games that fit the theme. We had like a Amazing Race party once. Ooh. And like they got all the parents to like drive us around town and do things.
Oh,
and
that's
it was super. My parents were great.
That's cool. I don't like. Every family is different, and like it's not that birthdays weren't important to my family. It was just kind of like, I feel like every celebration we had, birthdays, holidays, anniversaries, we just had a crap ton of people over.
Yeah. And
my mom and dad cooked a crap ton of food, and that's how we partied.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah. And it was great.
I mean, that's all you need.
Me and my like 30-something cousins would just like run around and be playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, every family's going to celebrate differently.
Yeah. I think my family is very much like we have to be organized. So like the parties had an itinerary. Like
we did not.
Yeah.
We were like, it's on this day. We'll be awake at like 9 a.m. We'll have eaten lunch and things. So just come after 1 p.m.
Yep. Nope. At my house, it was like, if you're not here by 1:30, you will not be admitted. No, I'm just kidding. But it was kind of like, we have 13 minutes for this game, and then we will open presents, and then we have exactly 22 minutes. Like,
wow.
No, it wasn't that extreme, but like it was very much like, we're going to do things in order, and we're going to do things at this time, and funny. Everybody needs to be out of the house by this time.
That's so funny.
Yeah, but they were super fun. They were, I mean, they just like made everything, and it was
That's
awesome.
really cool that they made everything.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, every family celebrates different. Mm-hmm. I'm just a little, some of these kids' birthday parties I've been to, I'm a little like, whoa, that's a lot.
Yeah. I don't know about like renting out a whole venue for a 2-year-old and they like can't even use the stuff, but like.
Yeah, like a bouncy house place
right,
for a 2-year-old. It's like, they can't do any of this by themselves. They need a parental escort. For the bouncy house.
It's okay if you just want to go to the bouncy house as an adult. Like, you can just do that.
You can do that. They have places that have adults nights. Yeah. Like, you can just do that. It's fine. Okay.
Should we recommend things?
Oh, sure. I forgot to do that.
Yeah, I thought of one and now I can't remember what it was. Oh, I remember. My recommendation is an app. It's called Screen Zen.
Ooh.
And it is like a app blocker so that you can focus on things. And you can set it. It's free. and you can set like a schedule. So you can say like on these days from this time to this time, I want to block these apps. You can check off which ones you want to block.
Ooh, okay.
And then you can set like how many opens you're allowed during the off hours.
Oh, okay.
So like I have like all of my games and my social media apps blocked. And then if I try to open it, you can type a little message to yourself. So like mine says, is this important? And then I'm allowed, I think, max like 10 opens for 10 minutes at a time. And so every time I open the app, it says, is this important? And if I really want to open it, I have to press the button. It waits 5 seconds, and then it opens. And then after 10 minutes, it gives me the message again.
Oh.
And so it's just like a nice way to give yourself a break from all the apps that are wasting your time. But also like gives you some sort, because I feel like if it's like just a hard block for 7 hours, I'm just gonna turn it off.
I'm just gonna be like, well, I'm not doing anything.
Right. I'm just gonna delete the app if it doesn't give me anything.
Right.
So every once in a while, I'll spend 10 minutes on TikTok as a break. But then it blocks it, and I'm like, okay, my 10 minutes is up.
That's what I need, is like a time limit, because I get lost in the sauce on like TikTok and Instagram.
Right.
And I will be on there for a very long time. And then I'm like, oh crap, it's been an hour?
Mm-hmm.
A whole hour? I could have done so many case notes.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, that's my recommendation. It's called Screen Zen. I don't know. It's on Apple. I don't know if it's on Android, but I like it because it's free. And it just turns on automatically on Mondays and Fridays. And I have my apps that I set up.
Yeah.
It's very customizable.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get that and use it. Here. Okay. This is a new Instagram account. Well, new to me, that I've been following for neuro-affirming, neurodivergent affirming stuff. I've been trying to like flood my social media with that stuff so that I'm staying on top of it. But this lady is a speech therapist. Mrs. Speech IEP is her handle. And she specializes with autism, with the autistic community. But she has a like autism handbook for parents, clinicians, and any like adults that have been recently diagnosed. I haven't gotten it yet, but I really, really want to, because it provides a whole lot of like, here's like checklists of things that you can go through. It has like a meltdown tracker worksheet, so you can track your meltdowns, you can track your burnout, all kinds of stuff in this handout book. But the Instagram account is super nice because it's very easy to read. It's very quick. She has I think my child might be autistic, and kind of like, here are some things to consider before getting an evaluation. Here's how to get an evaluation. She has some tips on like how to address certain problems with your autistic child that are coming up, and like how to talk with them about it. She talks about like kids with a PDA profile, a lot of sensory stuff, differences in autism between genders. It's like everything autism.
Cool.
It's very, very cool. And I really want to get that handbook whenever I remember / have money to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mrs. Speech IEP is her handle on Instagram.
Cool. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, that's all we got today, folks. Please leave a comment down below about
parenting one-liners.
Give
it to
for
us.
sure. And then also, what do you do to help with pre-vacation stress?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you have it? Am I alone?
Is this a niche thing
that
we have a problem with? Just the two of us?
Yeah. We shall see. And then, of course, subscribe and share us with everybody that you know. And like us on all the things. Follow us on social media. That's all, right?
Rate, review, subscribe.
That. All right. Have a great week, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.